Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting in November 26, 2019. Please rise for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Statement of adequate notice.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On January 7th and October 8th, 2019, notice is sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, local source, and the clerk of the municipality. By state law, there is no smoking permit in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items of this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein as is allowed at the regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law.
Roll call.
Ms. Kozak? Here. Mrs. Manganiello? Here. Mr. Shahan?
Here.
Mrs. Beviano? Present. Mrs. Birch? Here. Mr. Guardiano?
Here.
Ms. Gilliam? Present. Ms. Johnson? Present. Mr. Martucci?
Here. Okay, Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is our short week, and first and foremost, on behalf of the district, I would like to wish all of our families a very happy Thanksgiving. This is a time we give thanks for all we have and to get a chance to celebrate good times with our families, friends, and those who are dear to us. Be sure to take a look at our district highlights, hashtag Linden Celebrates. There's lots of good things to celebrate. The month of November brought forth several things and to acknowledge, including the honoring of our veterans and our celebration of American Education Week. I would like to thank all of our schools for hosting various activities and inviting families and community to share in the festivities. One of our largest attended events just happened last Friday. It was Dancing Through the Decades. That was sponsored by our Before and After Care program. It was the first time it was held and over 400 people attended, so I can't wait to see what it brings next year. This month, I would also like to welcome our newly assigned school law enforcement officers to McManus and Seoul Middle Schools. Lieutenant George Allard is at McManus, and Sergeant Joseph Walsh has been assigned to Seoul. Both officers are a welcome addition to our school community, and we are happy to have them on board. At this time, we have some recognition. Yes.
I skipped one. I'm sorry, we'll go back. I'm sorry. I need approval of the minutes, okay? I kind of skipped that one, so let's go through that. Approval of last month's minutes, please. Motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Yes. Second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kozak? Yes. Ms. Manganiello?
Yes.
Mr. Shahada?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Guardiano?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Yes. Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. At this time, I would like for us to go down. We have some recognitions for our Apple Distinguished Schools and also our New Jersey Department of Education exemplary educators. Okay, so this one is loud tonight. So last year there was a nomination made by Dr. Robert Tozy when he was in our district, along with the principals of both Seoul and Linden High School, with some assistance from Mrs. Dorney, who is our Director of Human Resources. And the New Jersey Department of Education was asking for secondary school districts to recommend exemplary educators. These were to be staffed to identify educators who were valued by their school and community and have exhibited strong knowledge and skills, had an inspiring presence and clear vision for quality of teaching and learning. I didn't really know anything about it, so about 2 weeks ago I was surprised in the mail when I received a letter saying that we not only had one, but we had 2 of them. And this is quite an honor to be bestowed upon our staff. So we put a little surprise together for them last week, and I don't know if anyone saw that. We had it on Mr. Miller put together a fabulous video, and we had it on Twitter when we surprised them with Linden news. It was a great celebration. The students and staff were there to cheer them on, and they had no idea it was occurring. So with that being said, I would like to first call up Mr. Peter Cetera from Seoul Middle School. Peter is a social studies teacher over at Seoul Middle School. He's been with us now for how many years, Mr. Cetera?
About 5 years.
5 years with us. He is doing an outstanding job, and please, if you get a chance to look at that video, you can just see the excitement. And it was not only from his students that were in his class at the time, but it was his entire team. We know that we have the team model at the middle school, so there's 4 teachers who work together very closely. There are 4 teachers. And this is such a close-knit team, and to see all of the other students from the classrooms in the doorway screaming and cheering him on because they get to have class with him too. It was a very exciting day. So once again, we want to thank you for everything. You're an exceptional teacher, and congratulations. Did you get a picture, Mr. Hall? Oh, okay. And now for our high school, we had the chosen exemplary educator was Mr. Anthony Fischetti. And you can see the fans in the background there. Well, Mr. Cetera had balloons and this cheering section. Mr. Fischetti, his students had planned, they had the big heads, they had a banner, they had cupcakes with little flags with his picture on it they brought in. So it was very exciting again. Mr. Fischetti has been with us now for 14 years, a little more of a veteran, and he currently is our IB coordinator, and he teaches IB Italian and also our intro to education class for our high school students. So congratulations to Mr. Fischetti. And the funniest thing of all, we went in, Mr. Fischetti, if you watch that video, you can see him, and you can see his face when Mrs. Horry comes on the announcement and say, "Oh, pardon the interruption, but please," and you can see his lesson was interrupted, and it was such an inconvenience until he realized what it was, but it was just great. So a couple of good things to celebrate. Now we're moving on to a few more. We have our Apple Distinguished Schools. Last month we acknowledged our Future Ready schools, and this year we are very proud to boast that we have 3 Apple Distinguished Schools, which is a huge accomplishment, let alone for, one in a district, but to have 3 in a district. And really to talk about that tonight, I would like to invite up Lisa Erdman, who is our representative from Apple. She has been with us on this Apple journey since it began in 2013. And she offers so many supports, and through her support and the support of her colleagues, that's how we're moving our district forward with this and why we have this, this status. So, Lisa, please come on up.
First of all, this is such an honor, and in celebration of this week, and Thanksgiving, I'm so very thankful to be the Apple representative working with this school district. It has been an amazing journey. Mike Walters, it was like, 6, 8 years ago we started, and just 2 years ago we stood in the same room and we awarded 2 schools here, both School 6 and School 8, for achieving Apple Distinguished School in such a short period of time. That's what's so amazing about this school district, is how much every time you do something, you jump full in. And it's just such an amazing group of people to work with. So 2 years ago, School 6 and School 8 were awarded Apple Distinguished School. That is a high honor at Apple because it represents everything that Apple believes in as far as making learning exciting. about making an environment where kids want to come to school and they want to learn. And it's how we use technology to help assist the learning. Not that that's the focus, but the teaching and learning and creativity is everything that your school district believes in. These 3 schools did a lot of work. They had panels of teachers with the lead of their principals, and they worked hard and had to create a digital textbook that talked about your story. And that will be available on your website. It will also be up on Apple's main website. I want you to know that we have 5 schools in the state of New Jersey, which is amazing, because there are only 470 schools in the entire world that get this honor, and that's part of 34 countries. So this is just over the top wonderful, and we're so happy to have School 10 join this group. And right now I'd like to honor the groups that work. So if we could start with, I guess, want to start with School 8? Because I think that'll work.
So for the second time, we'd like to award this to School 8. If I would like to invite Mrs. Rodriguez to come up with her team to accept it. And I think one of the things too that they recognize when they look at our stories is that so many of our stories are student-led. It's not just done by the staff and the faculty, but we really involve the students, and everything that is in these books is truly student-led and student-generated, and moving us forward. Okay, at this time, we'll invite up, I'll go with Mr. Walker, the rookie in the group. They are getting it for the first time this year. Come on up with your team. And I think last year, wasn't we just missed it by a smidgen, and they came back and did it again, and it worked. Congratulations, School 10. Okay, and now I'd like to call up Mr. Mastriano with school number 6. Him and his team, they're a second time again. School 6 and 8 are running neck and neck. See how long they're going to keep this going?
I want you to know that it's our fault. We're kind of borrowing a plaque because Apple missed our shipment, but in no way does it distinguish from the fact that this group for second time around, all the hard work. Congratulations. You get to fly it again. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Board of Education for all your support for making a difference with the students here in Linden. And I'd like to thank Denise for all the leadership. You do an amazing job, and you are a high name in New Jersey. People want to come visit all the time. In fact, I think School 8 gets a visit next week. So that was requested. So you'll see lots of people in the schools taking a look and trying to mirror what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations to all of our schools and our exemplary educators.
Sorry.
It's gonna be back on stage. Just
Okay. And Mr. P, let's start with start.
At this time, as part of my superintendent's report, I would like to address a situation that occurred today. We had an incident at Seoul Middle School this morning, and it involved 2 students. It was an isolated incident between the 2 students. I did send an email out to parents, all parents in district tonight, and that was basically because of a lot of the news media coverage that I know that everyone is seeing today. I cannot go into details due to the fact that these are minor students and there are still discipline and investigation going on in regard to it. But I do want everyone to know that it was depicted in a way that is not how it actually occurred, the incident actually occurred. As a school district, you have to know that safety and security of our students is our top priority. As stated, we have 0 tolerance for any type of weapons, and they are dealt with immediately if anything is found on a student's person or in school. What happened today was that our media outlets monitor police dispatch, and when a police report was made for police to come to the school, dispatch went out and they monitor that. In no time, there were news crews descending upon the school. And what happened today, many of the headlines that you see greatly exaggerate the situation and how it occurred. All right, so that was something I wanted to clarify. The staff in all of our schools, they work each day to provide a safe environment. And for all of our students, and we are going to continue to keep that up with heightened diligence. I have spoken to several parents today who have expressed concerns, and all of the concerns I have taken down, and I will be addressing that with the board, what the parents are bringing forward. And also next week, I have a meeting with the chief of police to discuss any other concerns or assistance that we need or anything within our schools. As you know, we also just added, as I said in my report prior, we have 2 of our Class 3 officers, school law enforcement officers, at both Seoul Middle School. We have another one here at the high school and also at School 2. We also have our SRO here at the high school. So it is something we take very seriously. What happened today was a chain of events. This was, as I said, an isolated incident with 2 students. It did not affect the rest of the student population. It was being dealt with, but the media exaggerated what was going on from there. I apologize for all of the concerns that were out there. I know that we put things out as soon as we had. We put an email out to the families. We were not in a lockdown. We were not in a shelter in place. Those are the situations when we send out the calls, with an extreme emergency. The students, they did not miss a beat in the school all day today. I was back on the phone all morning with Ms. Kokoza through the afternoon. The students were in their classes and the day went on as usual. So that is it. If you have any other questions or concerns or something that you would like to offer, please, by all means, speak to me, let me know, and I will be bringing this to the board with all of the concerns and the suggestions that you have for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that, now we'll go into our committee report. We don't have any turn right now. Okay. We'll go into education. Ms. Chick?
The Education Committee, upon recommendation of the interim superintendent of schools and the acting assistant superintendent, presents the following motion to the Linden Board of Education for approval. I'd like to move 1 through 32 and respectfully ask for a second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Kozak?
Yes.
Mrs. Manganello?
Yes.
Mr. Shahada?
Yes.
Mrs. Viviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Gargano?
Yes.
Ms. Gilliam?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes. Personnel, finance, personnel first.
The Personnel Finance Committee, upon the recommendation of the interim superintendent of schools, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval.
Yes, we do have 2 retirements on the agenda. The first one is Ms. May Hauser. She began working for the Linden Board of Education in 2002 As a part-time school aide at School 10, she's been there for the last 17 and a half years. Just like to thank Ms. Hauser for all of her passion and dedication to the students and families of Linden, and we wish her all the best in her retirement. We also have Ms. Janice Hoffer. Janice has worked with, I think, all of us at some point in time. She's been at several of the schools in district. I know her and worked closely with her since 2002. She started her career in 1980 as an elementary 6th grade teacher at School 1. And then she worked at School 5 teaching kindergarten, and in 2000 became an instructional coach for mathematics within our district. She is retiring effective December 1st, and we just want to wish her all the best, and we want to thank her for her dedication to all of our families in Lincoln.
I move items 1 through 29 and respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cosar?
Yes.
Mrs. Manganiello?
Yes.
Mrs. Shahada?
Yes.
Mrs. Viviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Gargano?
Yes.
Ms. Gillian?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Martucci?
Yes. Finance Committee, please.
Okay, the Finance Committee, upon the recommendation of the Business Administrative Board Secretary, present the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. I move items 1 through 18 and ask for a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Cosar?
Yes.
Mrs. Manganiello? Yes. Mr. Shahada?
Yes.
Mrs. Viviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Gargano?
Yes.
Ms. Gillian?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes. Buildings, grounds, and security, Ms. Johnson.
The Building, Grounds and Security Committee found recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the business administrative board secretary present the following motion to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Items 1 through 7 and ask for a second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Manganiello?
Yes.
Mr. Shahada?
Yes.
Ms. Cosar?
Yes.
Mrs. Viviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Gargano?
Yes.
Ms. Gillian?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Martucci?
Yes. Planning and Policy Committee, Mr. Manganiello.
There's no action this meeting for planning and policy.
Okay, great. Okay, athletic and technology, Mr. Gargano.
There's no action this meeting for either academic, athletics or technology. We do have a report for both to go over with everybody. A little review going on for the end of the fall athletics. Varsity football ended their season at 3-7 this year. JV football was 5-3. Freshman football was 1-6. Middle school football did pretty well, but ended at 5-2. Girls tennis is 3-11. There was post-season awards in girls tennis for Laura Vargas. Varsity boys soccer ended the season 5-14. Some individual awards that happened. All conference team was Jane St. Jules. Varsity boys soccer, JV boys soccer was 8-7-4. Freshman boys soccer was 3-5-1. Varsity's girls soccer was 4-15-1. We had an all-conference team for Renee Ocha, an honorable mention for Alexa Fitz. JV girls soccer was 1-14-2. Boys cross country finished their season at Liking Last Chance International, where Hunter Cornwell and Nellie Clubband had a strong performance, finishing 5th and 23rd respectively. Girls cross country had scores for Linden girls. Scoring for girls within the cross country were Roshana Lucier, Jala Johnson, Alicia Ortega, and Arias and Jasmine McNeil. For cheerleading, the Ellis cheerleaders team completed another successful cheerleading season and kept the spirits high for all the sports, as well as that did happen in Seoul Middle School and McManus cheerleading as well. The boys McManus soccer team ended up the season 1-10. The Seoul soccer team was 1-12. Girls middle school soccer team was 5-6-1. The girls varsity volleyball team had a record of 11-13. They had some postseason awards. They had all conference team member Abigail Acone, and honorable mention for Naomi Bajar and Nicole Manzone. The JV team was 14-9. Girls freshman volleyball was 5-9. Also, going into the winter, the boys bowling team won yesterday 4-3 to win their match. As well as for the marching band, they had their championship championships where they place first in music, second in percussion, and third in overall effect with visual performance, which they placed third overall in their group. That's all for athletics report. I'm going to go into a little bit of what's going on with the technology within the school district. Technology one-to-one management that's going on within the district right now is we're beginning to sell old technology. The process has been finalized. Our first round of shipping back old technology will be done soon. With instructional technology, we've installed 40 plus Pro panel interactive whiteboards within the classrooms throughout the district. We're also using Google Apps for education. All Windows 7 desktops have been upgraded to Windows 10 and Office 2019 for the students within the district, as well as the administrators. Also within the technology department, we have a job posting going out for a network engineer to help move our district forward with our technology. Something big that's going on is our cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very important within the school district, and we're moving forward, going through with Citrus to help build our cybersecurity with our homemade stuff that we have here. And I believe we're going to have a presentation to the public and the board. I believe we said we're going to do it in January, correct? And then that way everybody can learn the importance of cybersecurity and everything like that. Two cool things that are going on with students right now is the girls with codes in the middle schools have been having their meetings on a regular basis, which is great for them to learn coding and everything, as well as the Garden State Robotics Competition is January 11th. That's all.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Are there any reports from the State Delegate County or Educational Services Commission this past month? Ms. Shah, you have something? Yes, Ms. Shah, go ahead.
Okay, I attended the Linden County Educational Services Commission meeting on November 6th in Westville. The superintendent report reflected the following highlights. They had a successful back-to-school night at Westlake, and they held the WPO meeting. That was their first one, October the 15th. They also had a grant that was written for evidence-based zones of regulations curriculum, and it's supplemental materials. At Lambert Mill Academy, they started with the fall festivities at the farms, and the students also participated in a week of respect with students participating in events that demonstrated respect to each other. Crossroads presented their first annual trunk or treat. In Hillcrest South, they included two state initiatives. The first one was a week of respect, which enables students to participate in activities at the HAS Day of Respect, which was created by the Respect Committee. And the second one was state-required observance, which the school was the Violence Awareness Week from October 21st through the 25th. And at Hillcrest North, they had U.S. History 2, the month of October focused on the Industrial Revolution, specifically child labor. For more information, you could visit the Union County Educational Services Committee, excuse me, I'm a little tongue-tied today, at ucesc.org. That's in my collection.
Anything on state or county? With that, we'll go to comments from our board members, and we'll right around the table about a minute or so. Ms. Viviana? Nothing? Ms. G?
I just would like to thank the retirees for their service, and I would like to wish you all a happy and safe holiday. This is just a little side note. Please, students, ladies, be careful while you're walking. It's getting darker, and a lot of things are happening because of the time change and because of the darkness. At my internship, I had a student been followed by some strangers on her way home, and she addressed that to me, and then we had to do a police report. There's the trafficking, there's the organ donor thing, so just be careful. It's very, very scary. They're targeting certain types of women, but we should all take precaution. So with that being said, said, thank you so much for your time, and again, happy holidays.
Mr. Gargano.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what Ms. Fitz was saying. I brought it up yesterday at our board meeting for our work session that people need to be held responsible for what they do, and the repercussions need to fit the crime. If repeat offenders are doing the same things, causing fights, or you're causing fights and you're part of the cheerleading squad, then you should be off the cheerleading squad. I said that yesterday. People agreed with me, and it got pushed under the rug. If you're on the football team and you're in a fight, you need to not be on the football team anymore. You need to be suspended for the season. Maybe you'll come back next year. Like, I don't understand why the same things keep happening, but it's not, like, nothing's changing. And as for being in the dark of what's going on, I feel like I've been in the dark. I feel like most of the board has been in the dark when something happens at the high school and there's a fight or anything like that. And it's just like, it takes 3 months to find out about a fight that happened in September. I don't understand why it's happening to us. So it's definitely happening to the public as well. So it's just like, I feel like that everything needs to be communicated better. But other than that, everybody have a good holiday.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Kozak.
In regards to the fights, we are discussing it. We are open to suggestions from parents, the public, the board is in discussions about it, like Mr. Gargano said. We've been discussing it, and we are addressing it and taking it very seriously. Brian, I'm not sure if you're still here. I was there on opening night for Cool. It was wonderful. Myself and Mr. Gargano were there. It was fabulous.
It was really good.
And on that note, just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.
Okay, Mr. Shaw.
To the parents who voiced their concerns today, we hear you, we understand, and we will do better. We can do better to start from the top down. And we're sorry, Ms. Fitz, that your daughter has to go to that, and Tanya, for your son, who has to be, everybody's hesitant to drop the kid off to school. That's should be the farthest thing from what's actually taking place. And we apologize on behalf of everything for that. And just happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Be safe. Come back in December, re-energized and ready to start the new year.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gargano.
I'd like to congratulate first our retirees, Mrs. Mayhauser and Mrs. Janice Hoffer, and thank them for their dedication throughout the years here for the Linden Public School District. I just wish them a good retirement ahead. I'd also like to talk about, I'd like to congratulate, first of all, our students who just ended the fall sports season with competitive sports, as well as our band and our cheer teams, and looking forward to our winter sports starting ahead. I would like to also give a shout out to our ROTC. These students never cease to amaze me. I was very proud to have been part of attending the honoring of the hometown heroes, as well as the ROTC ball, and just would like to give them a shout out for the great job that they're doing here within the school. I know there's a lot of problems that we're discussing as a board together, and we all together are concerned about certain things that we are working together to help solve. But I don't want to shadow the great things that we do here as a district as well. And whether there might be a small percentage of students that we are concerned with their behavior, we have a great portion of a percentage of students that we celebrate on a daily basis. And I'd just like to bring light to that. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy and holiday, happy Thanksgiving.
Ms. Birch.
Thank you. Also, the safety of our students, faculty, and staff is a great concern and a priority. And if we have to hold meetings, if we have to look at our policies and change our policies, that's something that we must do, and it must be done quickly. I just also would like to say that on another note, I'm very proud of all of our students and our faculty and staff for their dedication. I've been to quite a few programs throughout the district, and their passion and dedication is just wonderful. And like you say, it's too many events and I don't want to miss anyone, but I'm always proud of our students and our faculty and our staff. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, but I also would like to just bring up another point. As we all know, the year 2019, transparency in all forms of government is of the utmost importance. Recently, we've been asked by members of the public to bring back public comments in regards to agenda items. That, in effect, would give board members more insight on a particular subject prior to any item being formally voted on. With that being said, I understand the importance of running an efficient meeting. However, I do think that we should sacrifice effectiveness for the sake of, we should not, sacrifice effectiveness for the sake of efficiency. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to bring back the public comments on the agenda items and ask for a second.
Second.
Well, the agenda items that are set, your actual agenda is set in January by statute. So if you want to, come the new year, you set the agenda. Okay, the board sets the agenda, how you want it organized. Am I not correct, attorney?
Correct. But we changed it in June.
So what happened?
But we changed it in June.
I put a motion for that isn't on the agenda to discuss as new business or anything. So first you have to move it to new business, if you had a section for new business, and then you'd have to bring it forward. So I would suggest you talk to the president, set it on the agenda for the next meeting if you want to discuss it, but not just bring it up at this particular time.
Once again, I'm sorry. I've tried for transparency, but this board obviously does not want it.
Ms. Johnson.
No, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a safe holiday, and just share it forward with someone who's less fortunate, make sure, you know, your neighbor's okay, the weather's starting to change, and just take care of one another. Have a safe holiday.
It's clear.
Yes, one thing I forgot to mention during my report, our concert season starts when we come back after the Thanksgiving break. So I know we'll be out there in the schools for all of their holiday concerts, so please make sure that you check those out. And I do want to recognize one of our new hires who is in the audience, former student of mine, very proud to have her on board officially. She's been with us on and off, doing some lead replacements, but just want to congratulate Janice Banks, who is officially now on a tenure track as a social worker. Congratulations.
Just a short comment. I'd like to, again, wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, and just to assure you, as far as policy is concerned, and I think what Ms. Burks or a couple of the board members said, when a parent has a child, whether the child is in kindergarten, 6th grade, 7th grade, 12th grade, when the child leaves for school, the number one important is the child to be safe. That is the most important. And as boards of education, you are responsible from the child from portal to portal. A lot of parents don't even realize that. From portal to portal, from the time the child leaves the front door to the time he gets to your house, to your school. We are responsible when a kid leaves. Like for instance, you know, you have 1,800 kids in a high school. At the end of the day, 1,800 kids leave this building and wherever they go. But during that timeline, we are still responsible for whatever happens out in the streets or whatever the case may be. And we do have a policy, and the policy is very strict. It's been there for a long time as far as fighting is concerned. It's as clear as a bell. If you're both fighting, you're both going. The old saying was, you're throwing, you're going. But what I've learned as an educator over the years, fights just don't happen. They lead up to it. And with social media today, it is something that's mind-boggling because kids get on these strings and these strands and they talk. And they talk during school. They mention to 15 people this and that. And this goes on, and administrators don't know that's going on. So at the end of the day, there could be something going on at 3 o'clock when any BP will tell you out here. The worst time I believe even in the high school is not in the morning, but it's in the afternoon when you have everyone leaving. Same thing with middle schools and things like that. But I assure you, if you have an idea, and the administrators, and I said it last night at our meeting, a building principal is in charge of their building. It is your responsibility, a building principal, to take your staff and move it wherever you have to do to ensure the safety. And I can assure you, when you have a building, there's certain hot spots during the year that goes on. Whatever, it varies from week to week, month to month. But I can assure you, safety is the number one thing. There's no other thing that's actually more important than that. And if anyone has an idea, well, we can talk. If you have something, a suggestion, as far as that is concerned, we'll be very happy to hear it. We can put it in the committee, we can talk about it, we can add ad hoc committees to say, Greg, you know, or any board member, look, I think let's try this. You know, because what we're doing here is not working, so you can try something else. That's how you learn. If you try something and it doesn't work, you try something else until it works. So I can assure you of that, and if we have to create a policy that could basically do something that prevent what's going on right now, we can do that. But that's, I can say as far as that is concerned, we try our best. And the building principals and the VPs and the administrators, they try their best. Remember, we have 6,000 students in this district. 6,000. 1,800 in this building alone that come in the morning and leave in the morning at the same time. Both middle schools, 700. It's a tough job. It is a tough, tough job. But again, that is our job. That's what we want to do, and we have to do it well. It's not perfect, absolutely not. This school or any other school system. But we will try our best, and if we have to do something, then improve it, we will improve it. If you have an idea, you tell somebody. You tell the superintendent. The superintendent brings to the board, you have to discuss it. You know, I mean, there was issues on backpacks over the years, I remember, and backpacks, and should you have this, and should you have that, you know, whatever the case may be. If you think it can work, we can try it. You try it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, okay, you try something else. Other than that, have a great holiday season. Be safe, the weather should be good this week, and enjoy it. Motion to adjourn.